It's Walker. Walker at half court, across, taken away, and an early season stunner in East Lansing.
College basketball is back, and it was just kicked off with a Cinderella story as JMU knocked off number 4 Michigan State at home. The Dukes fought hard and really knocked down some big shots late in the game. But let's take a look at what we're covering today. We're looking at the Associated Press top 25 games from last night, and we're covering key skills for athletes to use, pick and roll, transition, and some of our favorite plays that we saw. But let's start off with longtime HoopStudy family member Elliot Kdo as he made his debut for number 16 North Carolina as they took on the New River Valley's finest, the Radford Highlanders. Kdo finished the game with 5 points and 6 assists, shining the way he usually does by beating people off the bounce with his great footwork and speed, and then using that vision to find his teammates. Now, one skill that each player can take away from Elliot is his ability to scan the floor and be one move ahead. You can see in these two plays that Elliot makes passes on time and on target, quickly and before the defense can recover. Now let's jump into our pick and roll segment of this video. First and foremost, we're looking at this sideline pick and roll. Now the cool thing about this, if you can make that contact on the screen, it can help them get into a one-on-one. And this one-on-one really happens because of this man sitting in the dunker spot. More on this later on. But let's say you turn that corner and there's a help defender. If you finish off at 2 feet, you're going to have a better chance because you'll be more balanced and under control. In addition, if you turn that corner and that defense recovers but their shoulders are facing the sideline, it's a great time to come to a stop and pull up. And don't forget, you don't always have to use the screen. If that defender jumps over the screen, you can always reject it and then make the best decision possible from there. And that best decision isn't always going to be you taking the shot. Here you can see that the ball handler draws 2 defenders, so he throws this hook pass to find his screener open on the pop. In addition, you can see it here, come off, get 2 defenders on you, and again, throw that pass over the top for the pop, and now he's knocking down that 3. And don't forget, just because you're not the ball handler or the screener doesn't mean that you're not involved in the play. Here we can see that the third man is going to drift down to the corner for this wide open 3, and you see it again here, pick and roll, and now he's getting a paint touch, drawing 2 defenders and spraying that ball out to the 3-point line for a wide open 3. But again, if you do get the ball and you're able to get that pick and roll and turn the corner, even if you see a help defender, there's always this option as well.
Forehead state. Whoa! Brand Nelson!
Now let's take a look at some key skills for your success. First and foremost, we're going to look at the get action, and that's just the handoff. And notice that once he turns this corner, it's pick and roll and he's getting downhill. I really like the way that St. Mary's is using the handoff. If this is something that you do in your program, it's worth watching them more often. Now, as we mentioned before with the drift, if you see that your defender is helping out, this is a great time to cut into the open area. And then from there, when you get the ball, you can use your skills like that shot fake to finish. And this is one of my favorite. It's very simple. You just lift up, get your defender to bite, and then go backdoor. Now, one thing that's usually overlooked about a play like this is the off-ball action. Here they get these help defenders shifted over because they're running this stagger, and that's what takes the help defender away. Marquette also did a great job of cutting. You'll notice that this defender is locked in on the ball, so they use this baseline sneak to get an easy dunk. Now, one thing that was really refreshing was seeing people use this shot fake. This is something that's not used enough, and it can get you wide open looks. And Miami used the shot fake twice in this play, as well as having somebody in the dunker spot. And this is a great segue to that. Arizona had plenty of people sitting in the dunker spot. Here you can see it pulls the help defender away so the ball handler can finish at the rim. In this play, they sit in the dunker spot and they get the pass so this way they can finish at the rim. And the dunker spot can also hide you from the defense, where now you're able to sneak in behind them and get an easy rebound and then again finish at the rim. Now let's move into transition. Kansas and Purdue killed it in transition, but there's a couple of keys here that we're going to talk about Kansas. First and foremost, being a rim runner, putting pressure on the rim is absolutely huge. Here again, dribble down, put that pressure on the rim, pass it back, easy finish. In addition, getting to home base, the deep corner, can really stretch out that defense and make it difficult on them. And that's why it's so important to run your lanes, because it's going to make your job a lot easier when trying to get a basket. But as we can see here again with Purdue, they put a ton of pressure on the rim. Now it helps that their bigs are gigantic at 7'2" and 7'4", but again, putting that pressure on the rim is going to help out a lot. But again, running the lanes is just going to make your job that much easier. Whether you're a wing running out on the sideline or a big trailing the play, your life is going to get easier running the floor. Now let's take a look at some of our favorite plays in the X's and O's category.
Pass there, knocks down a shot. They'll get those opportunities all year long.
McCain off the shot fake. End of the
Chasing the same goals and enough talent to pull it off.
They're in a 4-point game right now. And let's be very clear. One of the two announcers tonight brought a fan. It was not me.
Yeah, and it's on you, though. Here,
Stewart up.
Good minutes against Fort Hays State.
Beavers, 7 minutes against the Tigers. Over the top to Brown.
They're talented. How are they going to do in the Big 12? And Rodney Terry's first season is going to be really interesting. But Shaka against the alma mater. Story.
Here with Zakat going down.
Meshack, you saw the growth offensively. Inbound, 2 to play. Barnes about to unleash the bench here at the Food City Center. That's a 3 for point. We'll return for the second half. Again, big matchup on the horizon Friday at Wisconsin and Madison.
Nice.
Great pass from Carr. Dilly.
Be 10 feet this way. I got to stay in the corner. I got to hold my spot.
Camps, fearless physicality, competitive spirit. Those were the words that Shane Burkhardt was using. And after a made basket, here's Johnson, champions. He had his team out here, Donnie, on the floor to watch the banner ceremony.
He said he asked him early on, do you want to play underwater basket weaving? Yes!
The other team sent out Dallas Graziani. All 5 feet 8 inches of it. Edie did not have an issue winning the tip. Reigning National Player of the Year, Shepard. Beautiful.
Who was a preseason first-team All-SWAC performer, not here, may not be with him for a couple of games, was an 11-7 guy a year ago. They would probably like to have him here this evening, but not the case.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you don't have an all-conference player, especially going up
and knocking off Kansas. Manny, they were 8-10. They tied for 9th in the SEC. It was a rough year with some of the younger players kind of getting that experience, and yet they still found a way in March.
Yeah, it was one of those rough years.
Oh! His lead is 20.
Back in the paint, left hand off the.
Hayden Hefner, A&M will inbound. And they got it into Boots Rapp. Here's the SEC in the top 25, and 3 of them are bunched up right there.